Good morning, friends. I am Professor Shreya Trivedi from AKDMC Jamnagar. This is the lecture for SEM 5, the paper number 15, that is CC 15, Indian Poetics. We have studied Rus theory in the first unit, and now it is the second unit, that is Dhvani theory. Let us have some brief discussion of what we did in the earlier lectures. First is the introduction, that is, in 8th century, Kashmir had a new critical movement with the discussion of poetic suggestion. It was Anandvardhan for the first time, who gave the theory of Dhvani, in his book Dhvanyalok. He was one of the central and significant acharya for this theory. After him, Abhinav Gupta also commented on Dhvani with major contribution. But before him, many other scholars such as Bharat Muni, Bhama, Bhasa, Dandin, Vaman, etc. discussed about Ras, Alankar, Gun, Riti, etc. But no one discussed about Dhvani. It was Anandvardhan for the first time who gave the theory of Dhvani. And this theory from the book Dhvanyalok and Lochna revolutionized the Indian poetics. Now, Dhvani theory is basically a semantic theory and levels of meaning, which discuss levels of meaning, which discuss about the poetic suggestions and the meaning. Now, it inquires into the condition in which word or sentence may give rise to a meaning other than literal meaning. It is said that other than the literal meaning, the study of that is said to be Dhvani. Then comes about Dhvanyalok. There are 4 uddotas or parts of Dhvanyalok. First one is the introductory notes to Dhvani, then basic concept of Sphot, the nature of Dhvani and types of Dhvani. Introductory notes, in that we have studied about the introduction, that poetry evokes emotions, and no linguistic structure are devoid of this feeling and emotion. So this is the soul of any poetry. According to Bharat Muni, Ras is the soul of poetry, while according to Anandvardhan, Dhvani, or the meaning or the poetic suggestion is the soul of poetry. Then comes the Sphotvad. In Sphotvad, it is said that the last word or the last sound that creates a spark in the mind of the readers or the spectators, through that the meaning can be conveyed. So that is called the Sphot. Then comes nature of Dhvani, literal meaning and suggestive meaning. And then we studied about Shabda Shakti, that is Abhida, Lakshana and Vyanjana. Abhida means what? The primary meaning or the literal meaning of the poetry or words or a sentence, that is called Abhida. Then comes Lakshana, means what? The indicating meaning. Apart from the particular sense, every word indicates a deeper sense apart from the particular sense. So that is called Lakshana. And Vyanjana means the suggestive meaning. It is said that Vyanjana creates a spot in our mind, and through that the meaning or the Dhvani is being produced, and this is must for any literary work. Now we come to the last topic to be discussed in Dhvani theory, and that is the types of Dhvani. The last uddota of the book Dhvanyalok is types of Dhvani. Now, Anandvardhan in Dhvanyalok takes up 3 main types of implicit sense. Means what? The Dhvani is what? Implicit, or we can say the meaning. The theory which indicates the meaning in a word or a sentence, that is called Dhvani. So Anandvardhan has divided it into 3 main types. First is Vastu Dhvani, second is Alankar Dhvani, and third is Ras Dhvani. Now, Vastu Dhvani means what? The suggested sense. When the suggested sense is of the nature of mere appealing poetic idea, it is called Vastu Dhvani. Means what? If any poetry or the basic, we can say, poetic idea is of the suggestive sense only or suggested sense only, then it is called vastu dhvani. If one takes only the primary sense into consideration, the verse will be seen to contain an idea that encourages the power. Means what? The vastu dhvani is the thing. Let us take one example, through that we can understand it very well. There are 4 to 5 lines of one of the poem. Okay, let me tell you that lines. That dog is today killed by fierce lion that dwells in the wild thickets yonder on the banks of river Gonda. Now in this verse the suggested sense, okay, differs from the explicit idea. Okay, here the suggested sense has the main power. Okay, so where the suggested sense has the main power, that type of dhvani is called the vastu dhvani. Then comes alankar dhvani. Now alankar means what? We are having in our syllabus alankar theory also. Okay, now let us tell me something about alankar. Alankar means expression. Okay, expression of something which is through the figures of speech. Okay, we are very much familiar about the topic figures of speech. Okay, we have studied figures of speech in our English language also. Okay, so that in Sanskrit also we are having figures of speech. Okay, so here the poetry in which the figures of speech has the main power in it, okay, or we can say the main focus is on the alankar, then it is said to be alankar dhvani. Okay, let us take one example. Lit up are the quarters with your lustrous beauty, and your face looks charming with smile upon it. And still, oh darling, it is the ocean does not swell. Obviously, it is the mass of inertness. Okay, here, though the idea of moon face is not directly stated. Okay, here, directly it is not said that your the beloved is compared with the moon. Okay, but it is only when the metaphor that the lady's lovely face is identical with the moon, it is understood that her beloved or his beloved is compared to that of the moon. The verse becomes meaningful. The beauty is due to rupak alankar dhvani. Okay, here the beauty derives only when it is understood through alankar that the beloved is being compared to that of moon. Okay, here the metaphor is being studied, and so this type of dhvani is said to be alankar dhvani. Third is the ras dhvani. Okay, when the expressed sense consists in the poetry of vibhavs, anubhavs and vyabhichari bhavs, and consequently the suggested content evoke ras, it is dhvani theory or ras dhvani. Okay, where in the poetry the portrayal of vibhav, anubhav and vyabhichari bhav is presented in the expressed sense, that type of dhvani is said to be ras dhvani. Okay, again I am repeating all the types of dhvani. Okay, this is bit clumsy and difficult to understand, but yes, we have to do this. Okay, let us deeply study what are the types of dhvani. There are basically 3 main types of dhvani. First is vastu dhvani. When the suggested sense is of the nature of mere appealing poetic idea, it is called vastu dhvani. Or we can say that where the object is main, is at the center. Okay, that is vastu is at the center. There the vastu dhvani dwells. Okay, જ્યાં જ્યાં જે સજેસ્ટેડ સેન્સ છે, ઓકે, ત્યાં કોઈ પોએટિક આઈડિયામાં જો વધારે ફોકસ કોઈ વસ્તુ ઉપર કરવામાં આવે છે તો એને વસ્તુ ધ્વનિ કહે છે. Okay. Let us take one example. That dog is today killed by fierce lion that dwells in the wild thickets yonder on the banks of river Gonda. Now here, if one takes only the primary sense into consideration, the verse will be seen to contain an idea that encourages the traveler to ramble without any hesitation. Since the cause of his anxiety, the dog has been killed. Here, it is said about a traveler where it is said that he is fearless because the dog has been killed. Okay. જે રસ્તામાં એને ડોગ નડતો હતો એ ડોગ હવે છે નહીં, એટલા માટે એ હવે ફિયરલેસ થઈને ચાલે છે એવું આ 4 લાઇનમાં દેખાડવામાં આવેલું છે. એન્ડ સો હિયર ધ ડોગ ઇઝ બીન સ્ટ્રેસ્ડ અપોન એન્ડ સો ઇટ ઇઝ સેડ ટુ બી વસ્તુ ધ્વનિ. Then comes Alankar Dhani. When the suggested sense is of the nature of a poetic figure, it is Alankar Dhvani. Here the expressed sense may or may not be an Alankar, but the suggested sense should clearly convey the Alankar. Okay. Here the suggested sense, જે વસ્તુ આપણને સમજાવવામાં આવી છે તે બની શકે કે અલંકાર હોય અને ન પણ હોય એવું પણ બની શકે છે, પણ એનો જે સજેસ્ટેડ સેન્સ છે એ હંમેશા અલંકારના રૂપમાં જ સામે આવે છે. ઇટ ઇઝ ઓલવેઝ ધ સજેસ્ટેડ સેન્સ ઓનલી દેટ creates an alankar in the mind of a reader. That type of dhvani is said to be alankar dhvani. Okay. Then the last is ras dhvani. When the expressed sense consists in the portrait of vibhav, anubhav and vyabhichari bhav, and consequently the suggested content evoke ras, it is ras dhvani. Okay. If the suggested sense is the combination of vibhav, anubhav and vyabhichari bhav, okay, and which creates ras in the minds of readers or spectators, then this type of dhvani is said to be ras dhvani. All the 3 types of dhvani are important in our literature. Okay. No dhvani is devoid of any type of dhvani. Okay. Now here you have in exam you will be asked in detail about dhvani theory. Okay. So you have to write all the things from the beginning till the end. Okay. That is from Anandvardhan, introduction from Anandvardhan to types of dhvani. While there can be short notes too, like nature of dhvani. Okay. Then you have to write nature of dhvani. Okay. That is literal and suggestive meaning, or abhida, lakshana and vyanjana. Okay. There can be a short note of Shabda Shakti also. Now what is Shabda Shakti? That only. Abhida, Lakshana and Vyanjana. Okay. You can also be asked types of dhvani in short note. Okay. So you have to write these 3 types of dhvani. You can also be asked a short note on Spotvad. Okay. Then you have to write the Spotvad in detail. Okay. There can be also a short note or a detailed note on book Dhvanyalok. There you have to discuss about Anandvardhan, the Dhvani theory, Dhvanyalok and 4 Uddhotas. Okay. Now this question can also be said as the Dhvani theory, discuss Dhvani theory in detail. Okay. So here I complete my Dhvani theory. I hope you all are getting what I am telling or what I am explaining. Okay. In the next lecture we are going to start a new type of theory. Till then please revise what we are doing. Okay. And don't be in fear that what we will do. It is very easy. If you have any doubt, go through whatever I have spoken in the videos, okay, and go through the material which I am using in the explaining the lectures, okay. So and yes, don't forget to comment your name and roll number in the comment section, okay. And see you in the next lecture. Till then, please revise what we have done up till now, okay. Thank you.